Hello guys, and welcome to Daddy Share Space, and welcome to my shop. So today I'm coming to you with another unboxing. I actually ordered several things and they all came in around the same time. So I have an idea of, well, I know what I ordered. However, I don't know which box is which. So we're gonna go ahead and open this box up together and see exactly what is inside. Alright, so here you can see we have Festool sustainer. Let's pull it out and see exactly what we have. Alright, so again, what I have here is the HL850 or the HL850EF Plus. And this is the planer that Festool offers. Now, if you've been watching my channel for any period of time, you know that I have been collecting a lot of Festool tools, and I've kind of expressed why I've moved over to the Festool brand. I've kind of shifted away from some other brands, and I won't go into all of that right now, but basically I just like the way their tools kind of work together within a system. It kind of takes a lot of thought out of a lot of things, which I think is pretty cool. I'm hoping to improve in my own personal skill set by utilizing this brand of tool and using the integration that's built into their system. Now, let's go ahead and open this up and see what we got inside. All right, as you can see, now first and foremost, a handheld planer is more of a specialty tool, and I personally do have a handheld planer in the shop. I have the Ryobi corded handheld planer, and I also do have a DeWalt battery power that I use on occasion. This particular planer is going to be replacing my Ryobi, which is corded, and I came across it obviously online, and it has a plethora of features of which I'm probably not going to be able to go over all today because I do not have a lot of experience with the tool. This is simply an unboxing and overview of the tool. So what it comes with is your warranty inclusive. It comes with your instructions here. And then you've got an edge guide here. This is one of the few tools that is actually corded. The cord actually is fixed to the machine. We also have a depth stop. Well, let me pull the planer out. So here we have the dust collection port. You can see that there. Let's pull the machine out because it seems to be sitting on top of or near this. This right here is the depth stop device here. So this kind of helps determine how deep you want to go with your groove. So from my understanding with this particular machine, you can kind of go as deep as you'd like to go. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at the actual inside here. And as you can see, there are a couple of accessories that are available. You have multiple heads that you can utilize to get different types of designs. You also have multiple replacement blades. There is a dust bag that you can get for this if you didn't want to use it with dust extraction. And there's an auxiliary fence, which is going to give you more registration. Now, this particular fence here is no longer being sold new. It's been discontinued. There's also a base for this particular device that is also no longer available, or at least you can't buy it brand new. You can buy it basically secondhand. And it's funny because a while back I actually saw in my local area a gentleman was selling this particular planer, and he was selling it for, it was probably like $600 and something or something like that, and he was selling it with the stand. Now the stand gives you the ability to place the jointer in this orientation so that you can actually use it almost as basically like a benchtop jointer, albeit with a smaller cutter head. Now that's an interesting feature, just another representation of the types of innovation that Festool offers with their tools, giving you multiple ways to use the same device. Now, as we take a closer look at this tool, as you can see, you've got the Festool branding. Right here, you lift this up and you can see the cutter head. It says max 15,000 here on the side. This part right here is called the HK82SD, all right, standard. And then if you take a look here on the front, you can see that there's a lever, and that correlates with lifting this cover. So you can put this up and get it out of your way when you're actually doing your cuts, if that's going to interfere. Otherwise, whatever your material is going to push this up automatically to that set location. All right, so on the top of the machine right here, we have a toggle which you can turn left to right. Okay, so there's a threaded opening right here, and then you'll stick the port, the dust collection port, on the inside there, and then you'll line it up and you will thumb screw it down. So you don't need any extra tools to put this dust port on. And then of course you want to take a look and see where the dust chips are actually going to be coming out. So if I turn it, it appears if I turn it this way, the dust chips are going to come out towards you. If I turn it back this way, the dust chips are going to be coming back towards me. So just removing this here. And then if I turn the machine around towards you, and I can pop this in, and it goes back into the same hole. And that's how your dust collection works. And I assume the bag will fit on top of this so that you can actually catch those chips. Obviously, if you're going to use it in a more, if you're going to use it outdoors, or if you don't fancy dust collection, you could just let the chips go everywhere. Now, we have a safety trigger here. So you'll have to push this button and then squeeze the trigger to run the tool. This has an 850 watt motor. So this green button right here, you'll push it down, and that's how you'll actually be able to remove the cutter head, to loosen that. Now let me look on board. So here we have an Allen key that's fastened to the back here. So you can pull that out, and it actually fits in the cord so you can keep up with it. I'm pushing the green button that I showed you just a second ago, and we'll put the Allen key in, lock it, and there we go. We're able to remove the cutter head. So the screw's not that long that holds it in, and we also have a washer, and you can see there's kind of a rectangular type shaped opening that this cutter head fits on. It's got a nice amount of weight to it. And I accidentally dropped the washer that goes down inside here. So that drops down in there, and that's going to have to line up with this portion here when you put it on. So these are the three components that are actually going to be holding this cutter head in. And you can see the blade is actually at an angle, and you also have your screws here for being able to change your blades. This is just a regular straight blade, and this planer was designed in such a way as to operate somewhat like a hand plane. And when you turn a hand plane to the side, you can actually get a nice smooth cut as opposed to just going straight on. So they designed this planer to where it has like more of a shearing, cutting capability as opposed to just having a straight cutting capability. These cylinders that hold the blade are balanced in a way to make this machine run smoothly. And if you can take a look right in here in the top, you see that it's deeper than this portion here, and that's how you're going to indicate which side actually goes down into the machine. So we're going to reinstall that. I do think that in the future, probably not the near future, but I will be getting the other heads for this because it adds a lot of functionality to this particular tool. Let's lower it down. Then we'll take this particular washer with the kind of rectangular shape. We'll drop that in, and then we'll put the washer on, and then finally we'll put our screw back in. Once you get it to the point where it's rotating, turn it around again. You're going to push this green button, flip this back. And it locks in, and you snug it up. All right. Now, the way that this planer, so it does have the little foot on the bottom so that it will protect the cutter head when you lay it down on surface. As you can see, we've got protective tape here to protect the base of the shoe of the machine. Looks like right here we have an area where we're going to attach accessories. We're going to put this down for right now. And if we can take a look right here on the top, put it like this, and you can actually, so right now it is locked. If you flip this green lever back, it gives you the ability, so this is P, I would imagine that may be for park. As you rotate the handle back towards you, as you can see, we're at 0, 1/64th, 1/32nd, obviously this is an imperial version, 3/64, 1/16th, 5/64, 3/32nd, 7/64, 1/8, and then it goes just above 1/8 there. So you've got a little bit of variability as far as what you want to do as far as cutting depth. Now with this machine, that's how much you want to take off with each individual pass. Now if you want, because of the design of this machine, you can essentially, because this can go right up to the base of, or up to the side of your workpiece, you can continue to joint, or plane rather, you can continue to plane all the way down as far as you'd like with this particular device due to how the machine is designed. And as I look here, there is this blade that's sitting here. It protrudes out just a bit outside of this circular ring, and that's, I believe, to correlate with this base so that it will be on the same plane with this base. So when you're up against your work, you're gonna get the ability to actually trim right up to this surface here, or be flush basically. So as far as everything that's green, I think we've gone over that. We've got the arbor lock, we've got the guard lift, we've got the lock for the depth setting so that you don't accidentally hit it and get yourself out of the plane that you want to cut in. You've got your safety with the trigger, so the safety is here, the trigger is here, and overall it seems to be a pretty nice looking device. Now for I see there's some kind of a bar here. Let's go ahead and see if we can figure out how this goes on. So if you put this right here and screw it in, as you see there's a little bit of an indentation or groove here. You'll put this on and button it up, and you can determine how deep you want to go into your work if you take a look there. So I'm turning around this way to see what's better. So the depth of work right there. So if I lock it in, let's say, let me see, is there an indicator? Yeah, there's a little notch right here, which kind of gives you an indication. So if I want 1/2 inch, I'll pull it up to 1/2 inch, and I will lock it in, and then kind of rotate it with the tightening. So you want to hold it in place, and then I'll lock it in there. And what that's going to do is the cutter head is only going to go down 1/2 an inch into my stock, and it does not interfere with this guard. So if I was cutting, let's say on this table, and I put it down, right, that's as deep as it's going to go. Now I would start up here at the base, but when I finished, it would go down to where this brace is, and it would not cut any deeper. So that's a nice little feature there. Now let's see about this other portion and how it goes on. All right, so we've got the planer sitting up like this, and I see, is there a groove? There's no groove there. All right. So we know we want this to be a fence. All right. So we're going to turn this back like this, and then it will screw in. And then once you have that on, then when you're actually running the planer along your workpiece, this is going to be an added reference point to try to keep your device at a 90 degrees. Now there are on this particular piece, now obviously you can move it further in so that you have a narrower cut, and you can move it out to its maximum here. Yeah, so there's a capture washer on here, so be careful of that. Just a little rubber washer to capture your screw so that you don't lose it on here. Anyway, so you can see how the plate goes. So when I put it on, I'm putting this beveled side. It kind of bevels down. It's kind of difficult to see there. You can look at it like that. It bevels down right here. And that part I'm putting close to the machine or to the plate of the machine, and it fits right in there, and then it gives you the ability to screw it down. Now of course I have this going on in the opposite, in the wrong direction. You're going to turn it back towards me, and then but I do notice there's some threaded screws here, or a threaded opening here, so that could be possibly for a secondary tightening device potentially, or maybe some other kind of accessory will go on there. Now this small little piece of fence does not give you any kind of beveling capabilities, but what it does give you the ability to do, based upon what I'm seeing here, is, let me get it back off. You can actually attach a board across here that's deeper, that would give you more of a reference surface. I actually saw a YouTuber online do that. So you could just put some screws through these holes or bolts to hold on a piece of wood to give you more reference. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and peel this off. And we can see the plate of the machine here, and there's a groove here for chamfering, and you can see the groove here more clearly, or more without the white contrast where you're going to attach the accessory. I assume the other accessory fence is going to attach here too. Now, as I described before, there is a bench top accessory that was made for this. If you didn't notice there, if you actually pull this down and slide it in this direction, the orientation to this side of the machine, it locks in place if you don't want to have the kickstand up. Now, the added functionality of the base for this will give you the ability to use this as a planer, like a benchtop planer, obviously albeit very small, but it does add some extra features to this particular planer. Now, going back and just reiterating, obviously the cord is attached. I believe the tools that I have in my shop where the cord is permanently attached, meaning it's not a plug-in cord, that would be the TS60 track saw, the TSV60 track saw, the 2200 router, the Capex, and is that all? I think that may be all that's in my particular shop. That those are the tools that actually have a permanently affixed cable. I'm kind of two minds about that. I really like the idea of the plug-in cord. However, I understand that some of these machines require a certain degree of power and consistency, and if you pay attention to the plug-in cords, some of them are, they're not always the same. And so I'd imagine that there possibly some different gauge, and then also different, you know, which would indicate the different power delivery. So if you happen to grab one of those like lower rated cores, now I'm just speculating here, I don't know for sure, but let's say there's a cord that comes with a machine that draws less current. If you happen to grab that cord and plug it into your machine, that could be, you know, the end of your machine. So now obviously if they were to use straight, you know, the same kind of plug and cord across all their tools, then maybe that wouldn't be an issue, and they could have gotten away with having a plug it for both the 2200 router, the planer, or maybe even you know, the Capex. But you know, I've not come across the literature yet that says why they actually use main cord for this. Now, when you go to the TS60 and the TSV60 across the pond, they do have a plug-it cord, but I do think that that has a lot to do with the fact that they run what would be equivalent to 220, 240 volt in their, I believe, in their homes, versus over here in the US we use the 110, which means, you know, we've downscaled the power. And most US homes do not have the 220, except for like maybe for a dryer or maybe an electric oven, and you'd actually have to call in an electrician to wire your place that offer 220 power, which is not common here. I'm thinking that that's one of the reasons why we don't have here in the States the I think it's the HK85, which gives you the ability to have a cutter head placed onto like a track saw type saw. And it's like the, I guess it's the bigger brother to the HKC construction saw. So you can do track saw cutting, it can run on the rail, but it can also cut dados, which I think is really cool. Anyways, we'll do a few cuts with this just to see how it works. So this right here is one of the newer additions to my shop. It is the Festool HL850. It is their planer that or one of the planers that they offer, because I believe they do have a one-handed planer. I think it's the HL650. That's not available here in the States, at least as of yet. Maybe it never will be, but anyways, I'm happy to have this new addition in the shop, and I look forward to growing with it over time and getting more familiar with it. And as I become more familiar with the tool, I will share that here on this channel. I want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Take care.